Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tardis Zone Talks. We are here to speak all things RTD, as we said yesterday. But just before we start, I've been contacted by one of my sources, and we've got some casting news for you now. Not who's playing the Doctor, but we have been informed, and remember, this is just rumor and speculation. We are not saying it is fact. But I am told that RTD is only looking to cast a man for the 14th Doctor. RTD is only planning on casting a man for the 14th Doctor. This is what one of my sources are telling me. As I said, this is rumor and speculation. You know what to do. Take it with a pinch of salt, all of that. We'll see what comes of it when the announcement is officially made. But I'm told he's not even considering a woman for the role, and he is only casting men. So, as I said, take it with a pinch of salt. Obviously, everybody that's been watching this channel is now use ourselves. When we put stuff out there, I always say wait and see what happens. So of course, we have actually been saying it on this channel anyway, haven't we? That we don't think he would cast a woman, because he wanted a traditional, as John has actually said in the chat, because we've mentioned that word on this channel, we've mentioned that word on the channel quite a lot. Traditional, traditional Doctor. So yeah, but again, take it with a pinch of salt. You know yourself, things in the industry can change very quickly, but we've had a good record. So far. So, I have no reason to doubt my sources. But yeah, look, for me, I hope it is true, because I think the show. Look, I know it sounds weird, but after Jodie Whittaker, I think the show needs a fresh outlook, and that includes bringing back a male Doctor. I think it would freshen up the show again. So I don't know what you all, or how you all feel about that. I know for some fans, the casting is going to be very important to them. I also know, for some fans, it's the timeless child nonsense that they want retconned. But a lot of fans have said that their decision on watching Doctor Who would actually hinge on the fact on whether he would cast a male or female. So for anybody that's just popped in, because people are asking what have I missed, so the latest, and as I said, this is rumor and speculation, but apparently RTD is only looking to cast a male for the Doctor. He's not even considering a woman for the role, as far as we've been told. And as I said, this is just rumor and speculation. But we have spoke about this ever since RTD was obviously announced as showrunner, because, as all channels were doing at the time, we're all speculating in which direction he could go in, stuff like that. And this is why I wanted to do this stream again, and bring on some people to talk. I just got a message off Jack. So Jack is going to be coming on from Twitter. So he wants to give his opinions on RTD. But yeah, if you want to give your opinions on that as well. Now, it's not a panel situation. So I'll do is like what we used to do for the Tardis Zone Talks. We'll bring people into the studio. We'll bring people on for a couple of minutes each time, around 10 minutes. Give each guest around 10 minutes, and then we'll do a summary then right at the end, and then we will leave it at that. So the news is, for anybody that has just joined us, according to me sources, RTD is only considering a man for the 14th Doctor. And as I said, for a lot of fans, that will be very good news. You know, a lot of fans are hinging on that casting decision. Some are waiting to see if Chris Chibnall will indeed retcon the Timeless Children, which I don't think he's going to do anyway, and I think RTD will ignore it. I don't think he's going to carry it on anyway. If you're listening to all the words and the rhetoric out there from these interviews that Matt Stevens has been particularly doing, then you can kind of put it all together that this series is you know, this current version of it from 2005 and to 2022 is finished, and a new dawn, a new beginning under RTD. So let me know, whoever wants to come on, you're more than welcome to come on. As I said, we'll be getting the old timer ready. When the time runs out, I'll be bringing on the next guest. So we'll bring you on one by one, as we always used to do on this. So if you're interested in coming on, as I said, I've already got one guest that's willing to come on. If anybody else would like to come on, just let me know. But hold on now, I have to send out your link now to Jack. As I said, 10 minutes each. Get as many of you on as I can. That way it gives everybody a chance to give their thoughts and opinions, you know, and they have the spotlight for themselves. So as I said, so if everybody checks, the people that text me on Twitter, if you check your Twitter messages now, you should have received an invite. And I have a few people there. As I said now, guys, 10 minutes each, because I have a few guests now, actually. I've got a good few. Okay, Daniel, I'll send you the link, mate. You might as well, man. You might as well give your opinions on it. I know you're not really, you know, talking about Doctor Who at the moment, but it is about RTD and you are interested in RTD. So you might as well come on and give your thoughts and opinions on it. It'd be nice to hear from you. I'll send you the link in on Twitter. It'll be easier for you. I'll send it on Twitter. It will be easier for you. There you go. It's sent to you on Twitter there now. So everybody that's asked to come on, you will see that there's at the being a message sent to your Twitter account in your DMs. So as I said, I'm getting the stopwatch ready now. Each guest will get 10 minutes each to give their thoughts and opinions. So we got two in the studio. I'll wait until the rest come in. That's how we do it. We get everybody to wait in the studio, so I know exactly how many guests is coming on. There we go. So said there, yeah, okay. He's looking good there. He's looking good there. So we've got Jack waiting in the wings. We got Real Super Doctor waiting in the rings, and we got Scottish Davros waiting in the wings. And if Lee ever checks his DMs on Twitter, he'll see he's at the being sent a link as well. But he's always fashionably late, even when we do this format. He likes to make an entrance. And Cinnamon Toast Crunch is also in the studio. So we'll have around 5 guests. Each guest getting, as I said, 10 minutes to talk uninterrupted. That way, I'm gonna like when they come on. Obviously, you know what the topic of conversation is. I want to hear your thoughts and opinions on RTD. What you hope to see, maybe, and what do you think of the latest news, if true, that he's only casting a male for the Doctor. So I think that's everything that we're going to be covering. So I'll give you, while I'm getting this stopwatch ready, I'll give you a few minutes each. Well, the ones that are waiting to come on, you will obviously have plenty of time to think about what you are going to say. But for the first guest, obviously they've got the bad end of the stick because they don't have as much time to think about it. But that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. Right, I've got the stopwatch ready. As soon as the 10 minutes is up, we'll be saying goodbye to that guest and we'll be bringing on the next guest. That's how we do it on the Tardis Zone Talks. If you all remember that format, that's how we do it. We try to get as many on. And as we've got 5 there, this is brilliant. It's going to be very interesting to hear what all the guys have to say. So let's start off with our first guest on tonight. Joining us all the way from Drawing Jack Rabbit's channel, it's the one and only Jack Main.
Hello.
Nice to see you.
You too, Noel, and you're right, I really did not have time to think much what I'm going to say.
I know. Unfortunately, that's the way it does. It does actually go. But we are talking RTD.
Yep.
And I will ask, well, I'll start off with the easy question and then you can walk away from there. And I haven't started the stopwatch. So the stopwatch starts when you start talking, obviously.
Okay.
Right. So the question I'll ask you first is, obviously, I've told everybody that my sources have said that RTD is only casting a man for the Doctor. So we'll start with that because that's the easiest question. So, what are your thoughts and opinions on that? Are you glad to see that that's happened, or you don't believe it, or you know what I mean? You're gonna wait and see what happens, and what do you think?
Well, I have two things to say about it. One of them I'm not sure if I should say, but I'll get that one out the way. So obviously there's RTD's personal preference, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. And other than that, I think he just knows deep down that the Doctor is supposed to be a man. It's not even about his political beliefs or anything. We know where those are. I think he just understands the character as a man. He knows that that's who the character is. And that's why I think he's doing it. But also I think maybe he could still be a populist and he knows it's what most of the fans want and he knows it's the safe option to go with. I think that's what I would say about that.
Yeah, I mean, look, it sounds weird saying this, but I actually think it would freshen the show up. We've had
Yeah.
5 years of this regime, and it does. Let's be honest, it seems a lot longer, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So if it is true, as I said, take it as with a pinch of salt right now at the moment. But I think that would be good decision, and I think it would really. There's a lot of fans out there, Jack, as they're kind of hesitant to support RTD because, there's certain things going on with the current era that they don't like, and a lot of people say that his casting decision will determine whether they watch or not. So, I think you're right. I think it is a bit of a populist decision, but you are right. If anybody understands Doctor Who and the Doctor, it has to be RTD, doesn't it?
Yeah, I will just say though, it's not everything for me. Just because they've cast a man doesn't automatically mean Doctor Who's going to be good again.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah. There's
because
still a
there were
lot to cover.
times when Doctor Who wasn't good when it was a man. So it's not just sexist, they don't like women. No, the most important thing is the writing. But I
Yeah.
strongly believe that it's a male character, so that does make me feel a lot happier. And do I believe what you said? I'm 90% sure that that's what he'll do anyway. Before your
Yeah.
sources even said, I was certain he was going to cast a male.
Yeah, we've said it on this channel as well, actually, the day that he was announced. I even said I think he'd go back to a male doctor. It makes sense bringing him back. Why he would do a female doctor all of a sudden when he had 2 male doctors in his first run. It wouldn't have made sense to me, actually, unless, it was mandated by the BBC. But as you know, Bad Wolf Productions is actually running this now. So yeah, I look, if it's true, I'm over the moon. But I agree with you. It's not. This is not the biggest decision that
No.
has to be made. We have to see what the casting of the companion. I don't really care who that is either. I think for me, like you, I want to see what the writing's like. That's when we'll know whether RTD is the right showrunner or not, isn't it? It's the
Yeah,
writing. So what
that's
are
what I
your
mean.
hopes though? Yeah, but go on,
Oh,
finish
sorry.
that point that you're gonna make, and then I'm gonna ask you then after that, what would you like to see from RTD as well?
I was just going to say that, you know, when the casting is made, it's not going to be a sort of oh, I'm not going to watch the show sort of moment. I'm going to make my decision once I've seen an episode or two, because I
Mm,
know it's RTD and he made my childhood great, so I'm at least going to give him a chance no matter what.
yeah,
Like, but
yeah.
that's just me. I understand where a lot of people are coming from.
Yeah, that's the thing, even I do, even though, I do understand where people are coming from. I just, for me personally, I just wish everybody would just come together and just give him a chance. But I can understand why there's such hesitancy out there from the fandom because
Yeah.
they've been burnt so many times. But what would you like to see from? We got 6 minutes left anyway, so you got plenty of time. But what would you like to see from the RTD era? Because I've been talking about how Hollywood now seems to be caught in this nostalgia bug kind of thing. And I'm kind of worried myself personally that for the 60th it'll be fine. But I don't want to see all that nostalgia stuff for Series 14 thinking that, if you give fan member berries, that's going to be enough to
Yeah.
win off. I want to see something new. What about you?
I want to see new monsters, new designs for past monsters, but I want to see new characters and I
Mm,
just want something fresh, but also I would like something that harkens back to what the show is supposed to be, but
yeah.
take that idea of can go anywhere at any time to its
Mm,
full. Because what I've noticed is Doctor Who has a concept that you can literally do anything with, but it always plays it safe. You know,
yeah.
I'd like it to, for once, just step out that comfort zone and do something that will get the audience on the edge of their seat. Stop treating the children like they're idiots and, oh, they need all kiddie-friendly stuff. Scare them. You know, just go above and beyond and stop
Yeah.
being so afraid to do things that are going to push boundaries. But RTD, he always did that in the past. I mean, look at episodes like Midnight and, you know, stuff like that, fan
Yeah.
favorites.
Mm.
That's what we need more of. We need more stuff like that. And please, please redesign the Daleks because the bronze is just getting old now.
Yeah, I can't. Look, I have to say, I think it was nice to see them again in this current era because we all know what Chibnall had done with the Daleks. So to see them back, I kind of did get a bit of nostalgia when I seen the Bronze Daleks again. But I do agree with you. I think it's overdue. Moffat
Yeah,
tried it with that new
yeah.
paradigm, but
Skipping's Daleks, yeah.
but let's be honest, I call
Mm.
them the overweight Daleks, but they designed them that way so a person could fit inside them comfortably, which is fair enough. I can understand from that point of view, but all those colours, man, if they had left them black or something, or maybe the white, that they had, but to put them in different blue, red, yellow,
Well, I
we had.
think I think the blue and the red look good in the metallic colours in the
Mm.
Asylum, but I think it was the yellow and orange that made me just feel like, okay, if a pink comes out, I'm done.
Yeah. No, I agree. But yeah, I mean, look, back to RTD. I mean, look, we all know how excited fans have been. But a lot of things. Well, I just want to actually ask you this because you hear from the other side. They say because they refer us as not my doctors, as you know, even though we're not. It was a hashtag, but we won't get into that. But a lot of them are saying that we don't understand what we're getting with RTD, and RTD is very progressive, and we're going to be very disappointed because we've been given out about this era because this era has been progressive. Now, some will argue that RTD was more progressive during his era, but as I've always said, they've never understood where we're coming from. Obviously, RTD's character development story arcs are a lot better than Chris Chibnall's, and he didn't shoehorn characters in. Just for people out there, have you ever had a problem with um, inclusion, diversity, politics within Doctor Who? Because a lot of us here have said we don't. That's not the problem. It's how it's presented and how it's acted, and obviously, you have to have a good story behind it. Where do you stand on that? Do you think RTD is too progressive, or do you think he will do what's
I
best for the
just
show?
I worry that RTD in 2005, he might be different now than he was back then.
Yeah.
And look, can I be honest with you, guy? I never wanted to be political. That didn't happen until I started watching like Bowles Trek, and then he got me into you, and then so on and so on. There's like that was
Yeah,
it.
I
Now
know
I've
you
been
don't
red
get
pilled.
political.
I've been red
Yeah.
pilled. All I see is politics and
Right.
diversity and everything. It's driving me mad. But what's great is when you go back and you watch the RTD era, you've got all these diverse characters, but you don't really notice it until you take a step back and you go, oh yeah, because they come across as characters, they come across as people.
Mm.
You never once go, oh, that's obviously been inserted in there. Like when there's a massive amount of representation in an area which realistically wouldn't have that kind of representation, then that makes you raise an eyebrow. But you
Yeah.
never got that with RTD. He kept the realism to it. It's like when he went back in time to World War One in Family of Blood, there were no people of color at that school, which was
Mm.
realistic, except for
Yeah.
poor Martha, who got abuse because of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he kept that realism with it and that almost respect, for how things were. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm making any sense at all, but I just want him to go back to a time of telling stories.
Yeah.
And if he can
No.
do that, I'll be happy. And I guarantee you there'll be one or two things that makes me go, oh, you had to throw that in there. But overall, if he can maintain like a 90% story driven thing, then I will be up for supporting his era 100%. As
Yeah.
like if he has to do his personal pot, he's going to do it at the end of the day. But I don't think it's worth like abandoning the show just because it's got a fragment of politics that you disagree with in it. If that makes any sense.
No, yeah, I get what you're saying, and he has been. You're right. He's been lucky. You look at even back in season one with Chris Eccleston. You had what was it? It was the end of was it the end of the world in World War Three. That was a
Yeah,
very politically driven
but as a
episode.
kid, I didn't understand.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
understand. That's the thing. I'm all red pilled now, so I understand. And it's like, God damn it, I just want to see
I
them as
know what you
funny
mean. Yeah,
aliens. But I
yeah,
get it. He's taking the piss out of politicians,
yeah, yeah. That's
but
what that was. Yeah,
that's the thing though. Kids could watch it and they don't have to understand. With Chris Chibnall, a child would be sat there thinking, well, what's this story about India? I don't have a clue.
yeah.
Or what's this and that? What's this? What I love about the Hartnell era is when they take you to a certain point in history for the historicals, they explain to you. It's like they're like, but it's cool. It's cool things. It's nothing to do with modern politics. It's like the Aztecs, the Romans, and you get to experience that. It's a fun way of learning history without being bored at school.
That's it. I think, and RTD, I think will look. His era, his first era is considered the golden age of New Who, and
It'll always be mine.
and there's a reason for it. Look, I think this guy really truly understands Doctor Who, and
Yeah.
I think we're in for a bit of a surprise. We have ran out of time, but before we do go, I will give you a chance if there's anything else that you would like to say. And then you could do your channel shout out just in case there was something else you wanted to say that you haven't had a chance to say now. Now you can do it.
I'm not sure. I think I've said pretty much all I need to. I'm excited for him. I've
Yeah.
still got that little bit of cautious optimism,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, but I think we're all going to be on edge until that happens. And
Yeah.
of course, Chibnall's dragging his ear out as long as possible. It's
I
getting
know.
irritating now. I won't be watching the Sea Devil one because I love the Sea Devils and I'm not having them ruined. I'm just
Yeah,
not.
I can
I'm
understand where you're
sorry.
coming from. Unfortunately, on this
Yeah.
channel, we will be doing the last two because we might as
Oh
well.
yeah.
We started with Series 11. We will finish with our specials and his specials,
I'm
and
gonna
we'll
watch
see.
her final story,
Yeah, yeah,
because everyone, I think a lot of people will. But as for that Sea Devil one, I'm just gonna pretend it doesn't exist
yeah.
and
I
just
think it's going to take a
come and
massive
tune
hit.
in, come and tune into your channel and have a laugh.
That's it. I think it's going to take a massive hit anyway because the last one didn't do too well. So, and
Yeah,
I do agree with you. I think the last one, because you'll watch, and that's exactly what'll happen. People that haven't watched this era will probably watch the last episode just to see it. So, because a lot of fans will need to see it to be able to move on, which is another thing as well. But look, Jack, you've been absolutely fantastic. First guest. It's never easy coming on first because, as I said, you don't have much time to kind of think of what you want to say, but you've done very well, mate, I have to
thank
say.
you.
But do us a favor because I know you've done a stream with Lee. If you want to tell everybody about your channel and about what the stream you and Lee did is about, and we'll get one of the mods to throw your channel in the live chat. So go ahead, Jack, do your channel shout out and all of that.
Okay, so but before I do, I just want to say thank you to all of you who subscribed to my channel, Drawing Jackrabbit. A lot of people in this community started my channel, kicked it off, and still continue to like and share and comment to this day. So I just want to say a big thank you to all of them and you as well, Noel, for supporting me. And me and Problem Being have done a stream, a podcast on the return of RTD. Is it good or bad? Question mark. We're going to do a series on this, because there's not enough information at the moment to really give a solid answer. But we're going to
Exactly.
enjoy finding out things as more information's released. And yeah, go check it out and support my channel if you like action figures, or mostly action figures, but I'm planning to do artwork and other stuff on there. So yeah, go check out my channel, guys, and thank you so much.
No problem. Melina says she is sub there. So
Thanks,
fantastic,
Melina.
Jack. Listen, mate, thanks for coming on. I really do appreciate it. And good luck with the channel. And anytime you need any support, we're all here for you as usual. So listen, have a great weekend. The rest of your weekend, have a great weekend. And we'll talk to you soon, Jack.
Talk to you soon, Noel. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. See you later, mate.
See you later. Bye.
Right. That was that what a start. What? I have to say that's what I want to hear more of. So that's absolutely fantastic. So that's the type of thing that we're talking about here. So for anybody that's just joined us, just to let you know on the latest information that I have received, I've been told, and as I said, take this with a pinch of salt. We're not saying it is fact, but as far as this is what we've been told, that RTD is only considering men for the role of the Doctor. So if you want to give us our opinion on that, as well as let me know what is obviously these are hopes and these are thoughts for the RTD era. Right, let's get straight into this. I'll get the timer. Ready. I'll get the timer ready, and we'll get our next guest on. As we ran over with Jack a little bit, I'll give everybody, because Jack went for nearly 13 minutes. So what we'll do is we'll give everybody 12 minutes. I think that's fair because 10 minutes seems a little bit short, but Jack got everything in it eventually. So, and it took about 12 minutes. So I think that's a good balance. So we got CD also who says, I'll just subscribe to Jack. So Jack, you've got a few subscribers there since you've been on. We'll try get you on a little bit more often. I didn't talk for 8 of those minutes. I was asking him a question. See, Lee, see him. You're not coming on now. That's it. You're done. You're done. You're out of here. Anyway, let's bring let's bring on our next guest, and let's see what they have to say. It's the one and only real Super Doctor.
Hey Noel, how you doing?
Not too bad, not too bad. So obviously, you know what I've asked Jack, so I'll just let you talk, man. So if you want to start off with the news, obviously about the casting the bloke, and then you could tell us what your hopes and stuff are. Go ahead.
Well, it's quite obvious RTD probably might want to think that way because the Doctor is a traditional male role, because it started off in 1963 with William Hartnell, and because the Doctor was this grandfather figure, and it's because it has that link back to 1963, and because it's the foundation of the show, because the Doctor didn't start off as a female in the show, and perhaps it was kind of too late for a female Doctor, I would think, and it's because that we obviously there has been problems with it and issues with it, and issues with the whole Chibnall era, but I think that. I think that RTD knows what works, and I think that's what he knows what he's going to go for. The whole concept of the Doctor was he was a Time Lord. He was a male Time Lord that just changed his appearance into another man, and that's what it was all about. It wasn't anything else, and that's what the format that worked. And if you abruptly make too many changes to the character, and you're trying to sell this to people, people are going to lose interest, and especially if it comes down to the writing and that, and the character development, which is crucial and very important, because the people have got to have that. They've got to have that bit about the character, the mystery and the enigma of this alien from Gallifrey or wherever. They've got to have that kind of suspension of disbelief, in what in what's happening and throughout the episode, and that, and the Doctor is the one that helps you, guide you through it. And the companion there, the character development of the companion is another important thing, because people have got to kind of relate to that the companion, because the companion also helps the audience convey into the Doctor, because the Doctor is this alien that we mostly know all the Doctor secrets by now, but perhaps RTD wants to kind of make the Doctor more mysterious again, like what it once was. Maybe he'll do away with the Time Lords completely, and everything about the Doctor, it'll be all mysterious again, and we didn't know it. We'll have to get reintroduced to the Doctor again. We have to get reintroduced to how the companion relates to him and helps him, and how the Doctor does the great problem solving as he does in the past, and that, and how is RTD going to make this different from 2005, for example? Because since it came back in 2005, he wrote the Doctor completely fresh. Although the Doctor seemed to have this baggage attached to him because of the Time War, what else is RTD going to introduce, create for a backstory for this new incarnation of the Doctor? What's it going to be like? Is it going to be another kind of personal tragedy that's going to carry on? That it's going to lead to bigger story arcs and that, and we all get the big bad at the end of the seasons and that, and we get terrific episodes, cliffhangers. The cliffhangers have got to come back, because the modern day audience has got to kind of experience that. How we experienced the cliffhangers when we were young, and watching Doctor Who when we were young. It was like the Doctor was at this moment in a situation where it seemed like he was never going to get out of it, or the companion was never getting out of it, or it was complete terror or something like that, and then the closing titles over it. I don't know if RTD would do that or bring that back. That the concept of the cliffhangers again. I think he tried in 2006 with the Cybermen story, the 2-part Cybermen story. But it'll be interesting to what he does for series series 14.
Yeah, because 60 there will probably be something familiar.
Yeah,
Obviously, with all the rumors of David Tennant,
yeah,
it's probably
yeah,
safe to assume that he's probably going to feature in the 60 that isn't actually the 14th Doctor, as a lot of people are speculating out there. To be quite honest with you, I don't honestly believe that
yeah.
he
What
is.
what
It
what is
would make
also
sense, though, you know. But
yeah.
go ahead, John.
What is also interesting is the fact that his choice for the 14th Doctor. Who is it going to be? That's the exciting part about Doctor Who, is because we really don't know who the next Doctor is going to be. It could go one way, or it could go either way. It could be a success and it could not be a success. But the point is that the Doctor has to appeal not just to one minority. It has to appeal worldwide. You know, it has to get that audience back that it really needs. It has to get that focus in the public eye again, like it did in 2005, like it did during David Tennant's era and Matt Smith's. But it seemed to kind of drop off a wee bit during Capaldi's, but I think that it would be safe to assume that he would be casting a male Doctor, because he knows what works in the past. He knows the character of the Doctor. He knows what he's doing. And basically, it was like the Ninth Doctor in Rose was basically kind of a love story without the sex and all that, and the shagging and all that. If you were like to say, it was something like that. It was something like she kind of adored the Doctor and doted on the Doctor because of his experiences and his adventures and all that, and his vast knowledge and of aliens and other races and that. And you know, it's like he was this kind of I don't know, what, like a kind of uncle figure to her or something like that. It wasn't any kind of loving relationship in that kind of experience. But it was though the Doctor was this kind of idol to his companions,
Yeah,
like he was this. I wouldn't say godlike, you know, like a Christ-like, but I think that was I think they were trying to go for that, the lonely god theme that was running through the RTD era, because he lost all his people and all that to the Daleks in that Time War.
yeah,
That he was this he was this the only one of his kind, and I don't know what RTD would do this time, if he would go along with that again, or try and do something else. So that'll be interesting too. Um, but also what I'm probably looking forward to is the new Tardis, the new set, the new police box exterior. What's it going to be like? Is it going to refer back to the 1963 original? Is it going to go for a replica police box? It's all those questions, and what's he going to do with that as well? How's the new Daleks going to look? How's the new Cybermen going to look? Is he going to go for new monsters and that? Is he going to explore older monsters and that, and origins of older monsters? I just don't know, but it's an exciting time.
Yeah.
It really is.
We've got about 2 minutes left. So is there anything else
Yeah.
you would like to add on there before you do your channel shout outs? Is there something else that's maybe you're thinking about? Where about obviously you spoke about the nostalgia stuff seems to be a big rage right now.
Yeah.
Would you be down for that if RTD start doing that for Series 14, or do you just want to say see it in the 60th and then just do something new?
Well, I would be surprised if he didn't do that. I would surprised if he did not want to kind of, you know, raise the vibration of the fan base. Like the fan base has been such in a bad state for a long time because they haven't had anything really good out this Chibnall era. I mean, it's been false positives. With the Doctor Who flux and all that, and the
Yeah,
way it looked grand and everything like that, and the big huge disappointment that was. I think what he'll really want to do is he'll want to capitalize on that and make it a little bit better.
yeah,
Like something magnificent, something fantastic, something awesome. You know, he's wanting to do something in his way that it's going to please the BBC. It's going to please Sony, and it's going to be this money spinner again, like it was
yeah.
in 2005.
Oh,
It's going to create merchandise, and like the merchandise what we got in 2005 was absolutely awesome. Because I mean, having to look at remote control Daleks and the likes of Woodworker
yeah,
and all that
yeah.
in figures and that, and I always hoped that they would do the classic series figures because you know how they done the real Ghostbuster toys in the late 1980s,
Mm,
the figures and that. I just thought that if they could create, if character options could create something like that with all the Doctors and that, and because RTD made the show a success in 2005, it made it possible for these companies to manufacture these kind of
mm.
toys and that and merchandise, and right now we can actually go into B&M bargains and we can get a Hartnell TARDIS
Yeah,
like we
that,
never could.
mm,
And
that's true. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
the merchandise, I do agree with you.
yeah,
2004 was a great time. I bought a lot of the RTD
yeah.
merchandise myself. But look, we've run out of time, John. So if you'd like to do your channel shout out, that would be absolutely fantastic. We've got a
Uh,
special
I've got
guest in the wings. Can't wait to bring him on.
I've got a channel under John Caligari. I haven't really developed that channel yet, but I've got a Twitter under a Real Super Fugitive Doctor.
Fantastic. And go and check out his YouTube channel and support that YouTube channel. Unfortunately, he had an old channel, but he forgot all the I think it
Yeah.
was the passwords or something, so he can't get into it. So go and
Now
support his new channel.
I had to refresh my browser that time because I think it was the chat wouldn't work or something,
Yeah.
some reason in that, and
It's
the
weird, yeah, I
StreamYard.
know. Yeah, it happened. It
So
happened with Cheryl. It's weird, and I
yeah,
still can't figure out how she was banned. Like the
yeah,
other accounts that the Teddy one that she uses is grand. Like so, I don't know. And I've checked the banned list. She isn't banned, so I don't know. Sometimes YouTube does play up like that. It's a bit weird, all
yeah,
right.
it
But
does.
look at
And
John. Go, yeah, go on.
yeah,
You want to say something there?
and it's going to be amazing time when Doctor Who comes back because it'll be something for the audience to really get their teeth into because
Yeah,
they're really desperate for something good, and I'm sure that RTD can actually pull something off. And if he doesn't, well, which is totally unlikely because at this point, because we've been getting a load of rubbish from Chibnall anyway,
yeah,
and it's really setting the bar high for a new Doctor, new TARDIS, new Daleks, new absolutely everything. You know,
yeah.
something to look forward to. It's new stories, new companions, new
That's it.
adventures.
That's it. And look, that as you said, that's all to look
Yeah.
forward to, and hopefully he delivers. But listen, John, thanks for coming on. I really appreciate you coming on and giving
No
your
bother.
thoughts and opinions. That was brilliant, mate. And as I said, we will make sure that the link to your YouTube channel is thrown into the chat. So thanks for coming on, John.
No bother.
See you soon.
Right, thank you.
Right. We'll bring on our next guest. It's the one and only Scottish Davros.
Hello, hello, oh, how you, how are you?
I'm not too bad, yourself.
Yeah, I'm not too bad. So let's get into the whole conversation. In regards to the source information you got up before you came on the air, I do kind of think I do kind of think that there could be something in it, to be honest with you, because he's his RTD has said on a number of occasions that the or as a male character, and I think as well because he has cast two male actors previous, so previous, so I think he'll like ask another male again, because as you've said, that it probably wouldn't make sense for a guy that's already cast and male actors previous, so but in terms of what I would like to actually see from the show, I'd like to see I'd like to see I'd like to see kill if hangers kill if hangers on our episodes may maybe put the episode time up to an hour, but obviously you would have to condense the series own a bit and just make every episode actually actually just make every episode actually out, to be honest, and then give the doctor and the companions all the character development, and obviously bring back and obviously introduce and introduce sort of new villains to this series, because there's been an overreliance on the Cybermen and the Alex, to be honest, as to what if you since the show came back, and then there's not really that many stories that you can actually do if the Cybermen and the Daleks out, to be honest, because you've already explored almost every story that you could possibly do with these iconic villains. Now's the time for other villains to actually shine in the show. Oh, and as we all know, RTD some RTD's creations previously with an amazing film on so I would like to see something completely different, but as well though you would have to cut back on the romance element with the Doctor for me, because it kind of has a negative impact on the Doctor's character. He's supposed to be an alien. He's supposed to be an alien having like sort of romantic feelings for or a companion. Sort of humanizes the Doctor, and to be honest, though, that's not what the Doctor are supposed supposed to be. I don't know if you agree with that. No.
I mean, I've never liked RTD. Was obviously the one that introduced the romance element with Rose and Tennant's Doctor, especially. As
Yeah.
I've said, I've never been really a fan of the romance element. I don't think the Doctor should be involved with a companion or should have feelings like that for a companion. But it seems to be a modern thing with TV. Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't want to see it, but look, this is RTD. He did it the first time round. There's nothing saying that he wouldn't do it a second time round. But in saying that though, he has done it the first time round. Maybe he will. Well, he will have to try something new, won't he? This new Doctor. This is another interesting thing which we haven't actually really brought up, is the fact that we knew what kind of Dr. Eccleston was an Tennant. Thing is, he did the whole story arc with those two. What's his story arc gonna be for this Doctor? What's this Doctor's story going to be? You know, that sort of way. What? That's the questions I have.
Yeah, and the only major and the only major concern would obviously be, I know that there's going to be a lot of ash being sort of chucked at this era to make it successful, but do you not think as well that the more sort of the more sort of the more sort of budget that the show gets handed, the more sort of professional that the show looks in terms of production, that there's a danger of the show kind of losing the charm, though. Because that's my only real concern. Production wise, is it might lose a bit of the show's charm if a bigger budget behind it. But like I'm really I am really sort of curious to find out what his new vision for the show because as you've said a few times on your shows before, that it's almost still like a reboot of a reboot, so it's a completely different style a show on. But and I'm curious to see, and I'm curious to see what the direction will be on or and again there seems to be motion from the other on the other side of the fandom that people will say, oh, yeah, they'll be so disappointed that there'll be a lot of politics in the show and all of that. Well, RTD has always been progressive, progressive. You've had characters, like Captain Jack and Sa Sa Angela from series from the very first RTD series, and Cassandra appeared in the second series as well. Those are LGBT characters, so we already know all the RTD's era will be aggressive, but it's how you present it, to be honest, and we already know that he'll present it a lot or having his track record already.
Yeah, I do agree with you with the whole. I hope it doesn't lose its charm. There is a danger, obviously, when you do throw a lot of money at something that it
Yeah.
could lose that charm. But again, I think this is another reason why RTD is brought back. If anybody can get the
Yeah.
balance right, I do think it's him. We got the 1 minute warning there, Daniel. So if there's anything else you'd like to add, and then you can do your channel shout out, that would be absolutely fantastic. But you do make some. I just want to just say you make some great and valid points there. We'll just have to wait and see what happens, obviously. But is there anything else you want to finish on?
Yeah, yeah, but I would just like to say to people, try and get have a couple of episodes and if it's not your cup of tea, then and then you're off, but you can't just outright something. So what I would say is if the for us a couple of episodes are short, to be honest.
Fantastic, good message as well, Daniel. I do agree. I think we should at least give him a chance and see what he produces. But do you want to do your channel shout out there now, Daniel?
Yeah, I did my chill stream from Charlotte. I did my chill stream from Charlotte last night. We had in all J on us, and we did a variety. Yeah, different topics, as I see problem Ian's already thorough on in my channel, but thanks for having me on.
No problem. It's always a pleasure having you on, Daniel. Anytime you want, especially when we're talking about the new era of Doctor Who, and hopefully when it kickstarts and all, I'm looking forward to hearing your opinions on it and
Yeah.
see where we all stand when all the announcements are made and stuff, and we get to see a trailer. A lot of exciting things to come. So, yeah, thanks for coming on, Daniel. Really appreciate it.
You go, see you soon.
No problem, mate. Have a good one. Now, that was Daniel. 2 more guests to go. I hope you are enjoying it so far. Remember, each guest gets 12 minutes. I have the timer. I will in the private chat, let you know when it's a 1 minute warning. So that'll basically give you time to wrap up what you have to say and then do the channel shout out. But yeah, look, yeah, Daniel makes some good points there. I mean, you know, you could try look, Doctor Who has a certain charm to it, you know, the CGI and you know, if you look back on RTD's first era, some of the CGI hasn't aged well, but that's what gives it its charm. It's an extra bit of charm there, and you know, this is the thing. You know, Doctor Who could become way too polished, and it could turn a lot of fans off. So there's certain things that he must try maintain while, you know, putting some throwing money at it, if you know what I mean. But let's bring on our next guest, because our last guest has been waiting for ages now at this stage. God love him. But we'll bring on our next guest now. We got 2 more to go, so let's get this show. We got 36 people watching right now. If you like what you're hearing, hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And of course, if you like any of what my guests have said, please give their channel also a subscribe. And yeah, absolutely fantastic. Right, let's bring on our next guest. It's Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Hello, everybody.
How are you?
Not bad, thank you. Well, I've just finished battling a cold or some sort of illness. I'm still not entirely great from it, but a lot better, thank you. And it's been a while, hasn't it? It's been a few streams.
It has, yeah. And winter time, everybody's getting sick all the time, colds and flus and stuff like that. And then of course we got that other thing as well in the background creeping around. But there you go. Anyway, we'll get well soon anyway. But obviously we're here to speak about RTD. So you've heard what all the guests have said. You know what we're actually talking about, and you've had time to kind of think about what you've wanted to say. So I'll just, like with Daniel, I'll just let you go ahead and talk, and I'll shut up. Go ahead.
Well, on the potential rumor that RTD is looking for a male rather than a female, of course, like always, we should always take it with a grain of salt. But yeah, I found it quite interesting because I've always had a few people say, oh, they're looking at both candidates, they're looking at both male and female. Or now that we're hearing that, oh, they're just looking for just a male. I think I agree. I have to echo what I think other people are saying. I do believe. Well, I don't even believe it. Just I think it should be a fact. It shouldn't even be a topic of debate that the Doctor should be a male. I mean, the Doctor's always been a male. It's like, I believe it was only In Heaven Sent when they tried to change it, and that commander regenerated in a woman, and he said, oh, the only time I've ever been a man in that last body or something like that.
Yeah.
I tried to kind of partially. Yeah, go ahead.
He also had that episode, the Doctor's wife, Neil Gaiman episode, where it was suggested that Time Lords could actually change gender. Knew who it was, the Doctor's wife. That's where it first all came. But obviously, the Doctor done it. If you want to get technical about it, the RTD era, there was a lot of calls for a woman to play the Doctor after Donna or Catherine Tate had played the Dr. Donna. So yeah, I agree with you. I look, I've always said it is a male role, but look, at the end of the day, they're gonna do what they wanna bloody do. But I do agree with a lot of everybody has said it. If it's half a century a male, why change it now? And if you're going to change it, obviously it's got to make sense. But continue, Cinnamon, because
that's actually a good point you raised there. That was something I wanted to address as well. It's like there's always been one question I've always had. I can never seem to find an answer, whether that be something I think about or something someone else tells him. But I just don't know for the life of me why Chibil, whether it was actually his decision or whether perhaps he was pressured or encouraged to do it by the higher ups at the BBC, but the fact that they were adamant that they were only hiring a woman, because I believe that was the case, wasn't it? They weren't actually casting men; they just downright said, "Right, no, we want women."
Well, Matt Stevens is actually, you probably haven't seen this article, so I'll give you your answer. You're looking for an answer, so I'll give you the answer. Matt Stevens has confirmed that Chris Chibnall had only taken the job if he was allowed to cast a woman. So this is actually on him, not the BBC. So you got there's your answer. It was confirmed by Matt Stevens only a couple of weeks ago. He did an interview which Radio Times have been putting up snippets of and doing articles on. So it was him. It was Chris Chibnall's decision.
Even then, that still baffles me. Why he would accept that condition, or I'm only coming back if you let me have a woman. I just don't understand his thinking behind that. I believe if they ever wanted to try a female doctor, I think they should have tried it quite a long time ago. I feel like it's a little bit too late, and I don't know if I'm the only one who feels like this, but I sort of feel like it's been a bit tainted now that, like, because we've had so many men for like the majority of the show since it's all the way it started with, it's been just men, and then one woman in between, and then to go back to men again if we do, it would just feel like quite like an odd one out, if that makes sense. Like, you've got a list of men, the one woman, and then a list of men again. Like, I wish there was some sort of, perhaps even in universe, like within the show sort of storyline, that sort of explored on it a little bit more. Why the Doctor isn't now a woman? I always feel like, oh, it's a woman now, just accept it. Like, they never delved into it or perhaps expanded on it. All we ever got was the Doctor saying, "Oh, come to mummy, come to daddy." Oh, I mean mummy. Little quick snippets of jokes like that.
Well,
But
the point that the other side make is that, the reason why they didn't make a big deal out of it was because, or why they didn't mention it in the show and make a big deal out of it was because, it was, even though the Doctor was going to be female now, they just, they just didn't want to, get bogged down in trying to explain all that. But I think they should have. I think if you're going to do that after 50 odd years, you want to have some hell of a justification for doing it. Because as you said yourself, if this had been done a long time ago, say around the time when the rumors were flying about that they might cast, I know it ended up being a joke or something, I think that was just thrown about. But I don't know if it's actually true, if it was a joke, or whether they were seriously considering bringing in a woman in the 80s. But that would have been the time to do it if you were going to do it. So then when we do it again now, you're right, there wouldn't have been probably as much as a kickback on it. If obviously the first woman that had done it back in the 80s, if they had a cast, was successful. This is the thing. This hasn't worked and it's not successful. So I'll ask you a question that I didn't ask the rest of them. Do you think Jodie Whittaker obviously was stated in an article to say that she thought she had room for another woman to take the role? And in the article, obviously, she says no, she didn't. She set it up basically for another woman to take over for a woman. She's left it safe, basically. What do you think? Do you think she has room for another woman to take over? And do you think that would influence RT's, if the rumors are true that I've spoke about? Do you think that would drive his decision?
Potentially, yeah. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to sit there and say that I don't think a woman should ever play ever again, because then maybe if we were to get another woman, sorry, I've still got a bit of a cough, and she smashes out the park, then of course, I'll root for her. But I think she has certainly put a bad spin on it. So of course she'll sit there in an interview and say she did a fantastic job. But I think in reality, most of us will look at her and say, well, for the first female Doctor, you've not exactly made the best go of it. So that's why I say earlier when I said she sort of, like, in a way, she sort of tainted it. So I wouldn't be surprised if that actually did sway Russell's decision.
Yeah, it's obviously it's an interesting one. But we have spoken about, words like traditional have been used, obviously, when he was first announced. We were getting some stuff, and there was talks of him going back to a traditional kind of Doctor. Obviously now we've been hearing some bits and pieces. RTD's done 2 interviews now so far. He hasn't given much away, but obviously he's writing away now. He has some stuff prepared. Moffat's comments as well, where he said fans don't know what they're in for, basically saying what he's saying RTD right is amazing. What are your hopes and expectations for the upcoming RTD era? What would you like to see? And again, I'll ask you this that I asked a couple of guests. Hollywood seems to be on this nostalgia train right now. Do you think it'd be a good idea or a bad idea for RTD to try replicate that? Because it does seem to be a successful kind of thing that they're doing right now. Obviously, there have been some exceptions to the rule. Matrix Resurrections is absolutely a joke. Actually, don't watch that movie if you love the Matrix movies. It'll ruin it for you. But they've got nostalgia. Cobra Kai would be a perfect example where they've got it spot on. Would you be worried if RTD started, harping back to some of the tried and tested that he did for his first era, but banking on that nostalgia to bring fans back? Or do you think he'll do something completely different?
I think there definitely needs to be a balance. So, of course, in the 60th anniversary, you can do what he wants. If he wants to throw in all the fan service, he can. Because, of course, it is an anniversary. An anniversary is to celebrate something. So on that, it makes sense. I think I put in the chat yesterday in your stream, there needs to be a balance of it. I think the key word is definitely balance. So, and I think it's important not to get distracted by riding the nostalgia wave. There is, you can certainly celebrate the past. You can bring some old favorites. You can bring some old favorites, or even scenes, or just anything that was from the previous era, from his first. But of course, not to have an abundance of it, because if you rely on it too much, people might think that he's perhaps not competent, or if people say, "Oh, you're only basking off the glory of your old stuff. You can't come up with anything new." So that's why I say there's a balance of it. So he certainly needs to come up with new material, and I'm absolutely confident he'll do that because his ability in character development and storyline and having clever characters and clever writing overall, I think absolutely. I think definitely a good balance of it, but I think he'll definitely come up with his own unique spin. I think, like you say, I think a few people who have come on the streams before have said, this is a different Russell T Davies. That was over 15 years ago. The man's maturity, his approach to his writing maybe has changed, his belief, the way as a man he's changed. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's I think there'll be a lot of similarities. Of course, it is the same man, but also a new unique twist to it as well.
Yeah. I actually agree with you there. Look, I have every confidence in him, and again, I'd agree with you. 60th anniversary, do what you want to do with that. Series 14, though, you are right. If you're gonna do a bit of the fan service stuff, that's fine, but there has to be a balance to it. You are right. I don't want, but look, I'm in agreement with you. He's such a fantastic writer, and since he's left Doctor Who, as you said, this is a totally different RTD we're getting now. His writing is superb. I'd say he's probably, well, I think he's probably the best British writer right now at the moment.
I have to agree. I think ever since he's left the show, if anything, his luck has turned out great for him because he keeps getting better and better. He's writing his own. He stepped away from the show and then delved into other issues. I haven't seen It's a Sin in years and years, or any of the stuff he's watched. Other stuff he's written, sorry. I'm going to, actually. I do plan on seeing his other stuff because I'm quite interested to see how he writes, other than just sci-fi and Tardis and all that stuff that we know. I want to see how he writes real life sort of storylines and real life shows and stuff. So that I'm quite looking forward to watching them.
Yeah, look, I think there's exciting things ahead. Even when he does an interview, there's a bit of a buzz. He's done two now. He hasn't given much away at all, but he kind of came out to dismiss the rumors that there was going to be an announcement on the casting just before Christmas because he wanted to set the record straight. But he did say he was obviously in the process of writing, and they were actually getting ready to go into production. Post or pre-production? Pre-production. I keep getting mixed up.
I thought it'd be pre-production, yeah.
Yeah, pre-production. So he's moving along anyway, so it'll be interesting to see what he does. But we have actually come to the end of your time, Cinnamon Toast Crunch. But again, yous all have made some great points there, I have to say, and I agree. I have to say, I agree with everybody so far. And I have to say, it's nice to see that a lot of fans are willing to give RTD a go. I think it would be a shame not to give him a go personally, but it is up to that individual. Remember, we have had a tough 5 years, especially with this production team and all the nonsense that came with it. But hopefully that's behind us now and we can move forward as a fandom, and hopefully the show can move forward to greater heights and hopefully get us back enjoying Doctor Who again. But Simon and Toast Crunch, do you want to give your channel shout out, your social medias?
I think you can find my Twitter. I just Brandon Beckett or Real B Beckett. You'll probably find it under just my name. And there is also my YouTube channel, Derby Rider 2. I know that might sound a bit confusing because that's not my YouTube name that I'm on here now. But yeah, I haven't uploaded in a while, but I'm going to try and get up to more Doctor Who related videos. So yeah, I'm on the up. I'm on the up.
That's it. Fantastic. Listen, you've been absolutely fantastic. Thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it. And listen, enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for having me on. I look
No
forward to
problem.
seeing you all again. Take care.
See you soon. See you soon. Right, we got one more guest to go. As I said, another fantastic guest. And we've saved the best to last on Money Messing. He's probably going to come on now and moan for the next 12 minutes about blah, 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 Money Messing. He's a friend. He's a friend. He's a friend. And when the Queen is not here, he's the Queen. He's the Queen Bee. It's the one and only Mr. Problem Bee.
Right.
See you later. I'm only messing. How are you, pal? You're absolutely pleasure to see you. How's your weekend going so far?
Oh, yeah. It's memorable.
Not great. One of those. I say, I even know, as soon as he talks like that, I know he's not having a good weekend. Yeah, it's been a bit of a shitty one for us as well, actually. It's cold, miserable. We're cold, we're miserable. It's just been one of them.
Uneventful, not.
But we have been, myself and Sharon, we've been watching this new show. Well, it was on, I think, before the pandemic. It's called Spy Games. So one of the YouTubers that we watch, the crime YouTubers that we watch, ended up being on this reality TV show called Spy Games. And basically it's a former CIA member, FBI member, and some other intelligence woman. And basically they come up with tasks and tests for these contestants to win 100 grand at the end of it all. 8 episodes. Very good if you're into your spy stuff. Now, I have to say some of the tests were a bit easy and some of the people on it will annoy you. But it's very enjoyable. I like that sort of stuff.
Jolly good.
Right, so obviously, Lee, you've heard what we've been talking about, and obviously you're the last guest, so you've had all of the time to think about what you want to say. So I'm going to shut the fuck up now, and I am going to let you talk for the next 12 minutes, and I will let you know in the private chat when you get to your 1 minute warning, so we're not here all fucking night. Okay? Right, that's it. And Melina is not very happy with me because there's no female
fuck her,
guest.
basically.
Well, this is the thing. No women guess, you evil pig of a patriarchy. Right, listen here. Right. It was an open invitation. Right, I gave people a time limit to come in. You come in late, so tough titty. That's the way it goes. I'm only messing. But look, next time we're doing these.
We'll only talk about her poo.
Listen, we're going to be doing these quite a lot now. Tardis Zone Talks. You're going to see a lot of these pop up now. So you haven't been on tonight, but during the week we'll probably have another one, so you can come on anytime. So next time I'll give you a warning because I know I have to actually let you know when I'm streaming. So you know, if you let me know whether you're busy or not. But I'm gonna shut up now. The timer hasn't started, so we're not eating into Lee's time here. So so I've been told off now. I won't talk about poop. I've already pooped. I don't really care whether you've talked about poop. I don't talk about poop. Yeah, hard luck. Right. Anyway, Lee, no
Yes.
female representations of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Yous are all evil. Shut up. Anyway, Lee, without further ado, go ahead. Knock yourself out, mate.
Yeah, well, as regards to the rumor, well, I think it's absolutely the right thing to do. I think if we're going to be radical in this day and age, it's to go against the current grain, which is exceptionally off the rocks. You know, it's madness in a bottle. And you know, for all these people saying it has to be a woman, okay, then cast Adele.
I know what you're doing there.
Yeah,
I know
cast
what you're doing
Adele. If
Yeah,
she's proud to be a woman and a female artist, so cast Adele as the Doctor. Let's see how that goes down. Oh wait, that's not a good thing, is it? Apparently, so seems to me that, you know, this demand for a woman to be the 14th Doctor, only if they're not happy with being a woman, apparently. So I think, again, we're showing the hypocrisy of this deranged fucking mindset. And it is complete nonsense. And I think as well, RTD understands, I think, well, hopefully now. I mean, I don't really want a repeat of the sort of Tennant era with the romance thing either. I think Daniel was spot on with that. The Doctor is an alien. It's, you know, what is he now, 2,000 years old or whatever?
Yeah.
And kind of dating a 19-year-old Rose type thing. I don't think that's what I think. You can have romance in the show with companions, or a companion and someone who's not a companion or whatever. Fine. And I think it also undermines the role of the companion. You know, I think the companion is just as important to Doctor Who as the Doctor is himself. But the Doctor is a male role. As far as I'm concerned, he is well, you know, he's a male role. That's it. You know, he's always been that way. I think when they introduced the sort of gender ambiguity thing, they've only ever used it in one way.
Yeah.
As male to female. But they've also only ever used it to bash males over the head. So I wouldn't be excited to see another female Doctor ever again. And that's not because I hate women. It's because I understand that intrinsically the Doctor is a male role. And that the current day politics like to use women for political point scoring. And the way it's been done is really rather disgusting in terms of undermining not only male role models for boys and men, but to do it in such a way that is quite facetious and derogatory. And it doesn't really scream equality to me at all. This is that whole equity thing, which I fundamentally disagree with. I also, as a gay man, do not want to see a gay Doctor. You know, it's standard. You know, like, it would be a radical thing to go against the current day grain and to produce something in a more traditional vein. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. I think that that's archetypally what the Doctor is. The Doctor is archetypal, right? That's why it's become such a British institution, because it's become so hardwired into our culture. And to upset that just because it's politically savvy to, you know, the trendy people on Twitter, I think that's very short-sighted.
They're doing something radical. Like, that's, you know,
yeah,
what I mean?
it is radical, and it's bad radical, right? There's good radical, there's bad radical. Not very many good radicals, but it's bad radical. Because it's not done for the right reasons. As Terence Dicks said, if you're focusing on the politics, you're not looking at the right aims. And I think that that's so absolutely true. And there was a poll that one YouTuber posted week about should the Doctor be left wing, right wing, or
Yeah,
central.
I actually retweeted that.
Yeah, and I
screenshot.
thought that was look. I mean, the number of look to conflate being left wing with being morally the best is dubious and lacks any sort of critical understanding of political history. If you look at Stalin, Lenin, I would argue Hitler, all these other collectivist socialists, they will disagree with me about.
Yeah, I seen that poll, and the first thing that popped into my head is what we've had a problem with for the last few years is that we've got a fandom or a fan base that clearly doesn't understand who the Doctor is supposed to be, and we've got a showrunner on top of that who's supposed to be a fan who clearly doesn't know how to write the Doctor that he has introduced to the audience. It's quite startling that there are a lot of people like that in the fandom that don't understand
the Doctor. Is
The
not
Doctor isn't
left wing. He's
right
not right wing. He's not even central. He's apolitical.
Yeah.
Yes, he can stand against tyranny and authoritarianism. He can absolutely stand against certain systems like right wing systems or left wing systems. But that doesn't mean, by his nature, that if you oppose something, you are therefore politically taking stuff. You can be apolitical and say, well, I understand that this is morally dubious or morally incorrect. You can have a moral position rather than a political position. And I don't think it matters what the system is that you're opposing. It doesn't necessarily mean you are being into the politics. It just means you oppose whatever the effects of that politic is. And I think that, you know, he's a moral character. He's a libertarian character, and I don't mean libertarian in the sense of, you know, the American political party libertarian. I'm talking about the definition of the word, which is very different. But it just seems to me an extremely, look, we know that it's a very liberal show, right? We know it's currently, you know, very progressive, whatever that means, because it's progressing off at the edge of a cliff. But I would say, you know, Terrence Dicks and Malcolm Hulk and all these people, they sort of balanced each other out. It wasn't always one-sided. You know, there were certain left-wing writers. There was some right-wing writers as well. There were some critiques of both systems.
Yes, exactly.
You know, and I think that's important. Like, no one's saying you should get rid of politics from Doctor Who, but I think as well you should also be aware that politics transcends trends, and we must be sure for the longevity of the show that the current day politics, which will be dated very soon, if they're not already, and that will make it sort of either a curiosity of its time or something that's completely unwatchable, you know, because people will be like, well, that was off from that crazy time. And I think it should elevate beyond that, right? It shouldn't be a vehicle or a platform for politics. It should be a way of addressing certain issues of the day, but in a universal way, and to pose political questions to the audience for them to make up their own minds, and rather than patronize them or beat them over the head with. So, I mean, going back to the casting thing, I think, look, I was fairly open-minded to it. I still thought the Doctor was a male role, always had been. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think the whole retcon of gender being this, you know, fixation of human, if it's a fixation with human beings, and why is it now a fixation for Time Lords? It just seems, and it should have been addressed. If they were going to do that, it should have been addressed a lot better than it was. I think it worked. What worked for Missy doesn't necessarily mean it works for the Doctor. Now, I'm a big fan of Missy, so, you know, people might say I'm a hypocrite for that, but I will say the Master of Disguise, you know, could have worked out a way to do that, and it makes absolutely perfect sense for me. Oh, and I've seen as well, just because before I wrap up, really, I've seen a still clip, well, a still image from the upcoming final Chibnall show. So I'll send it in your DMs if you want to share that on screen.
Okay. I always look forward to
This
these.
is like the final Chibnall episode with Daleks, especially redesigned Daleks. It's world exclusive.
Oh, where did you get this?
It's on Twitter.
Set in. It's on Twitter. Okay. Okay.
This is
Jesus.
official. This is a blue check mark.
Right. Okay. Right. Let's. I'm even more interested now. Right. So you're saying there's Daleks again?
Redesigned Daleks. Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake, you're something else. What the hell? Okay, hold on.
World exclusive.
This is brilliant. Okay, right.
World exclusive.
This is a world exclusive. Okay, I have to be honest with you. First look at these new Daleks. I have to be honest, much better than what Chibnall has designed so far.
Yeah.
I have to give it to him. This is genius.
This is his piece de resistance.
Seriously, Chibs, yeah, hats off to you for this one, because, like, it's not very often where I give you credit, but credit where credit is due. This is absolutely fantastic, folks. Have a look at this.
Stunning and brave. Stunning and brave.
Hold on. There you go. There's the new.
This is like, I think, the peak highlight of Chibnall's career. I mean, this is the level of writing that he's achieved. This is absolutely brilliant. I'm absolutely thrilled to see this. This will be one of the fugitive doctors, played by Elmo.
Oh, did you ever see that Elmo video where he's deranged because he's after taking a shitload of drugs? It's an adult Elmo video, and he goes crazy. He has a knife in his hand. That's what that reminds me of. Oh my god, that is brilliant.
But I mean, look, if you think about it, with the timeless child thing, we've been told that the Doctor can regenerate infinitely and can take on any shape. Okay, fine. So, and any sex and gender, whatever.
Why not
so
Elmo?
that means the entire, and if the universe is infinite and the Doctor has infinite regenerations, that means eventually the universe will be populated by the Doctor, and the Doctor will be everybody, including Elmo, including the Daleks, including Cybermen, including everything, and all the Doctor will be doing is reproducing with himself. So, I mean, it throws up a can of worms. It's silly. It's stupid. It doesn't work. There's no biological reason for. I mean, you can see how nature would probably be opposed to something like that because of the problems it could cause, and that kind of causes a lot of problems. So, I think this to me sort of exemplifies that.
Yeah, that's just brilliant, man. I thought you had me there for a second, but then when I seen it, I said I'll play along.
No, it's real, isn't it?
I'll play along. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. But look, we have ran out of time, Lee. So if you want to do your channel shout out, but that's a brilliant. That's a nice way
and that was actually from the official Elmo Twitter profile.
Elmo.
You can follow me at twitwats at Being Problem, and my channel, which I do various digital video stuff. It's Audred, Audred, audio visual. Audred audio visual.
Thank you very much for coming on. What a way to end with that photograph.
World exclusive. World
exclusive there. So yeah, there you go. As someone said, the very first timeless child. Why not? Why not? Let's make that canon. Let's get the hashtag going. Hashtag Elmo for the Doctor or Elmo for the timeless child. Oh, brilliant. I love it. Well, Lee, thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it, mate.
You're welcome. Thank you.
We will see you all here tomorrow for some New Who. Obviously, what episode are we on now, New Who?
It's the one after the aliens in a U-boat.
Oh yeah, the Cold War we did, didn't we? Yeah. So the one after Cold War. I'll figure it out tomorrow. But we're back for New Who. So come and join us. Anyway, right, we'll leave it there. Thank you to all my guests. You've been absolutely brilliant, every single one of you. Some great points made as well. I want to thank everybody in the chat as well for your comments. Really appreciate it, and the support. And don't forget to subscribe to all the guests that we had on. And of course, if you haven't still subscribed to this channel, what you waiting for? What you waiting for? This is the type of stuff that we'll be doing. I hope you've enjoyed it. Listen, there'll be plenty more days when RTD actually starts blabbing. You know, he hasn't really started blabbing as much yet, but when he does, we'll have plenty of content, plenty of stuff to think about, plenty of stuff to talk about and sift through, and hopefully we can understand his plan and see what he's going to do for Doctor Who. But exciting times ahead, folks. Let's keep that positivity going. And obviously, you know, we'll see what happens. We got Melina actually, you know, crying in the chat that there's no female representation. Well, you know,
you got me. What do you want?
There you go.
Yeah.
So yeah. With that said, we'll talk to you soon. We'll see Melina for Cobra Kai as well.
And poop.
So don't forget. And as Lee said, poop. Good night. Have a great weekend, folks. Enjoy the rest of it. And we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Switch off.